Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, hallelujah, to his holy and glorious name. As always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by HaSHAM, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by HaSHAM, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI. So all that I say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior, MASHAYACH, YAHAWASHI, who came here and died for the 12 tribes of Israel's sins. And only the 12 tribes of Israel sins, because we were the only ones that was given the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High. So people want to say, yeah, we turn our back on the Most High. You know, they like to go to St. John 1:11. He came into his own received him not. Right? They like to go there, but they don't read the next verse. Verse 12 will say, but as many as received him, gave he power to become the sons of the Most High, even to them that believe on in the name of the anointed Savior. Right? So that's believe on his name. That's in the name of the anointed Savior. That's how we reach the Most High. So it all goes together. And remember, there is no New Testament when he's saying it, or prove that it is. When those scriptures were written, prove that revelations existed. I'm not getting no comments on this. You know, y'all talk about everything else, but you ain't getting no comments on that. Comment on that. Peter's writings were there during the Gospels. When myself was in the earth, in the flesh. These are the things that I look at, our people not even considering. When you read the New Testament, there is no New Testament. There's only the law and the prophets that they're going by. So we were in Deuteronomy 4th chapter. I want to go back into it. Because the Most High want us to obey. This tag kept coming on my foot, my clothes, and I'm putting it right here, and also next thing up on my clothes, so I gotta go with it. That's, you know, we require signs, so there a sign is for me. So Deuteronomy 4th chapter was in this, and the subject is obey the Most High, understand those standards. And he said in Deuteronomy 4:7, he said, for what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh, was so near unto them, as the Most High our power is in all things that we call upon him for. You see? So we like to call on the Most High for everything that we want, right? Everything that you need. But what about following what he says he wants us to do? Say, what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh? That means we have the Most High so near unto them, as the Most High our power. You hear that? It's not everybody's power. He's the Most High our power, as the Israelites, is in all things that we call upon him for. You see? And when we look at this, man, go to 2 Samuel 7:23. 2 Samuel 7:23. So he's saying that in the law, right? Excuse me. So look at what Samuel's saying. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel, whom the Most High went to redeem for a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land, before thy people, which thou redeemed to thee from Egypt. All 12 tribes came out of Egyptian captivity, from the nations and their gods, their idols, the nation's idols. See? King Solomon is quoting, and King David, and all the rest of the prophets, quoting what we just read in Deuteronomy 4th chapter. For thou hast confirmed to thyself thy people Israel to be a people unto thee. How long? Forever. But see, the world and these religions say that Like I quoted from John, the first chapter, 11th verse, he came to his own received them not. And they'll use that to say that, hey, we rejected the Most High and the MASHAYACH. That's how they were grafted in. That's a lie. But thou hast confirmed to thyself, thy people Israel, to be a people unto thee how long? It said forever. How long is forever? Forever. And thou, Most High, art become their power. See? That's why Paul said, y'all want to say Paul was some say he was an Edomite, but Paul said this in Romans 11:1. He said, I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? So had the Most High cast away his people, who are the 12 tribes of Israel? Most High forbid. He said, for I also am an Israelite. And the Israelites are not Edomites, so they're not Ishmaelites, Moabites, Ammonites, or Hamites, or Edomites, none of them nations. We are from Shem, and we are the 12 tribes of Israel. What he said, I said it had the Most High cast away his people, because y'all want to say that the Israelites been cast away. Most High forbid. Well, I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul was a Benjamite, or the nation of Israel, one of the nations of the 12 nations that make up one nation, we as the 12 tribes of Israel. What did he say? The Most High has not cast away his people, which he foreknew. You see? So we all the way back here in Deuteronomy. The same people that he knew here is the same people that he knew that Paul's talking about. And that, you know, the Most High just said he is our power forever. Forever. Forever and ever and ever. Isaiah 55. And 6. It says, seek ye the Most High while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. It would say we got to seek the Most High while he may be found. Because remember, I just did the lesson on Hosea 5:15, where the Most High said, I'm going to go to my place till we, as the Israelites, acknowledge our offense and seek his face. So in our affliction, we're going to seek him early. That's why I say, seek ye the Most High while he may be found. Because that mercy and grace that you always like to think that you under is going to be lifted up. It's being lifted up slowly but surely right in front of our face. That's why I say, seek the Most High while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. You see? He said, let the wicked forsake his way. He said, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Most High, and he will have mercy upon him. Because you're going to have mercy on Jacob, not everybody. You're going to have mercy on Jacob. But 2/3 of our people, ain't no mercy coming to you. Mercy is what? Not getting something you do deserve. You're going to get what you deserve. That's why I'm here to warn you. This is the highest warning you ever got in your life. Beyond your imagination. That's why he said, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Well, you unrighteous is what? What's righteous? I got to keep bringing it out because you got to know it by heart. The scripture to prove what righteous is. What's righteous? Class, what's righteous? I know y'all better know it now. We done went over it day after day after day. What's righteous? Okay. Okay, you saying, I'm talking about the scripture that prove what righteousness is. Because we can say whatever. That's the problem now. We done said all this. You done heard all this. People say this and they said that. They said this and said that. And we believe whatever they say. But we can't gainsay on what the scripture says to prove what righteousness is. What's righteousness? And I keep telling y'all, when you see these certain words the Spirit has brought out that we need to know, and when you see it, then you say, okay, you can't nobody can gainsay on this. Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Very good. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High, our power, as he hath commanded us. And what's the next scripture? To prove righteousness. Psalms 119, 172. It says, my tongue shall speak of thy word. And that's how you get to understand through the precept. That's what we're doing. I'm asking a question and we go to the Bible to prove it. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments, which is the Most High's laws also, are righteousness. You see? So when you see righteousness, that's what it's talking about. The laws and the commandments of the Most High. So now he's saying, So now it says in Psalm Isaiah 55 and 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous, those that are not following the law, such commandments of the Most High, man his thoughts. Because Ecclesiasticus 3:24 says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, worthless thoughts, and an evil suspicion is overthrown their judgment. Why he's saying, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, because you don't allow the devil to come in and have you think you on point when you contrary to the righteousness of the Most High, which is keeping his commandments. You better be thinking about what's right according to the Most High. In every thought, every word that you speak, in every deed. Like we start with Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word, whatever you speak, or whatever you, in deed is whatever you do it all in the name of the Lord and Savior, that the Most High can look at you and make a decision on what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing. That's why you got to learn it, live it, and apply this in your life. An application is so hard for people because they don't think about the Most High and what he has told us as far as concerning all this learning that you have learned for years and a year in, a year out, a year in, and all of a sudden now, whenever it comes down, the book is closed, now you don't even think about it, but think about your own vain opinion. That's why evil suspicion, whether it come through somebody else that don't know what you know. And then you held more accountable than them. So you're going to be beat with more stripes than them because you know. You have means to be able to find out what's right. No reason not to do what's right. That's why let the wicked forsake his way. And the unrighteous man, that's still wicked man, wicked woman, his thoughts or her thoughts. And let him return unto the Most High. How you return to the Most High? By being righteous to the best of your ability. Keeping his law, statutes, commandments. But how you going to keep something that you don't even know, or something that you've been taught that you're not under? Don't you realize that's giving the Most High the middle finger? Telling the people that you don't have to follow him, but follow the wickedness of this world. And you can't tell me that every law that is being made is righteous according to the Bible. You can back it up by the word of the Most High. And he will have mercy upon thee, him. You hear that? You come back to the righteousness of the Most High have mercy on you. That's why I gave you Acts 17 and 30, where the Most High said, the time of your ignorance, the Most High winked at, but require all men to repent and come back to him by keeping his commandments. You got to know his commandments to keep them, though. And to our power. For he will abundantly pardon. Hear that? He will abundantly pardon. So how you think, how you feel, that's not how the Most High feel. That's why he said, for my thoughts are not your thoughts. So who is it that's going to take the thoughts of the Most High? That's why when you look at the judgment, you better be careful. because that judgment of the Most High is not necessarily our judgment. Perfect example, you look at a bunch of us, man, we've been but a bunch of degenerates from the beginning. We chose death from the beginning. Most High still spared us. We not consumed. Over and over again, we say, learn not the way of the heathen. Until this day, we learn in the way of the heathen. We think like the heathen. We don't think about how the Most High feel about this. Ain't nobody even talk about the Most High. Y'all got the nerve to put alphabet letters pertaining to all praise to the Most High. In Bahashim, I put letters there, but you run your mouth and type everything you want to type out concerning what you got to say. But you can't even give him praise. You can't even type out all praise to the Most High. Shame, man. My thoughts are not your thoughts. Neither are your ways my ways, said the Most High. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Understand this. So this is what we're looking at when you look at the Most High, who the world calls G-O-D, which is dog spelled backwards. But who's talking about that? But that's what they're doing. And they made up a word to represent that. And he loves us. You better take the time out to say, all praise to the Most High. You better give him praise for everything. Deuteronomy 4:8. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law? You hear that? The law is righteous. It makes us righteous, which I set before you this day. Only take heed to thyself, he said. Take heed to yourself. Look at Deuteronomy 29. The 29th chapter. Let's start at verse 1. It says, these are the covenant. These are the words, Salakia. These are the words of the covenant, which the Most High commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab. In the land of Moab. Indigenous Chinese, where their land was. Beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses, a covenant is a contract or agreement. And they are the laws that the Most High gave us. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. You see? So, he gave them to the children of Israel. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. Not to anyone else. Not to anyone else. Listen, and Moses called unto all Israel, that's the 12 tribes of Israel, and said unto them, ye have seen all that the Most High did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and to all his land, all them 10 plagues the Most High brought upon the Egyptians. And how the great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles. Yet the Most High have not given you an heart which is a mind to think, to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. That's sad. That's sad. You know, it's sad because it's saying unto this day, and it's real about this day. It's real. That's why, if we may go to Romans, let me show you. It's sad because it says until this day. And we're going into You notice I'm going back and forth into the Old and the New Testament because of the fact of this is what our people have been programmed to look at and believe and don't understand that there is no New Testament. So what you see in this New Testament, you're going to see they're going by the law and the prophets that you're not taught in these religions. But look at what it says. Same thing in Romans 11 chapter. It says, Romans 11 and 8. According as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, sound familiar? And ears that they should not hear unto this day. Most High is cold, ain't it? But it's, hey, those interpreters that interpreted the way it is, and the Most High had his hand in making sure that they interpret the right way because everything had been tampered with. And David said, talk about we the Israelites, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened. And the people's eyes are in gross darkness, gross ignorance, that they may not see and bow down their back always, make them have a hard time. That's how wicked and bad it was for us, even in King David's day, who had peace for 40, well, he had war, but King Solomon had peace for 40 years. King David had war for 40 years, but he brought all nations under subjection to Israel, and you had these wicked Israelites that he's saying what he's saying, knowing prophecies of prophesying what's going to happen in the future. You see? The prophets had prophecies of what's going to happen to us in the future as the Israelites, knowing these things, man. And it's like, why he's saying what he's saying. It's no different than what we're seeing right here, going back to when Most High was giving us the laws, man. Look, verse 4 of Deuteronomy 29. Yet the Most High have not given you an heart, which is the mind, to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear until this day. So we sing the 10 plagues that the Most High put upon the Egyptians, but he didn't touch us. You think about this. Like people always ask me about California, but I don't know anything about a lot of things, disasters that happen in California. They be calling about, oh, this going on in California. No, it don't be around us, but it be around other people that's in other lands, other different parts of this land of California. But it don't be like that around us. You see what I'm saying? It's like, same thing. We living in Goshen. We live in all these different cities in Egypt. And the Egyptians are going through all these plagues, man. You learn about them when we go into the Passover. All these 10 plagues the Most High put upon them. And he said he's doing it to get him a name. Understand this. He brought all them 10 plagues on the Egyptians to get him a name. Now, he said, okay, the 10th one. He gonna let you go now, because he kept telling Moses, Moses and Aaron, go and tell Pharaoh, let my people go. But the Most High hardened his heart that he wouldn't. Even though he was going through all these plagues, they were suffering, his people were suffering. He said he's gonna let them go now. So what did he do? He killed every firstborn male in Egypt, of the Egyptians and so forth. He killed the firstborn. Then he let them go. He didn't harden his heart then. He said, okay, did 10 plagues on them. This time he's going to let you go. He let them go. Just like it's going to be plagues. It's plagues already here. Right here. It's going to be that last one that they're going to try and bring about because of the plagues and try to deal with coming against the Most High's chosen people, that the Most High going to send them on second side to judge and make war, as it is written. But he's bringing those plagues, man. We in the plagues. We in plagues, y'all. I don't know if y'all realize we in plagues. We being plagued. It's right here. We in them. Woo. These plagues are on this earth. Ezra said what? In 2nd Ezra 16 and 17, he talking about the Most High. Look at 2nd Ezra 16 and 11. It says, the Most High hath threatened, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Look at what he says. Verse 8. The mighty Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, sendeth the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? It don't matter who you want to say, set them up and bring them out on the earth. The Most High said, he sendeth the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath. That's from the Most High's wrath. And who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings. How you going to stop lightnings from coming out of the sky? And who shall not fear? He shall thunder. And who shall not be afraid? So y'all think y'all ain't got to fear the Most High. That's being scared and being afraid of the Most High. When he do things, understand this. The earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof. The sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Most High, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into where? The ends of the world that we in right now. His arrow, the only thing we think of is missiles. But he said his missiles are not going to miss. He said, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. Listen what we say, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backwards. When you shoot that arrow, it's going to go straight to its target. He said, what did he say? He said, verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Where he's shooting that arrow at, it's going to hit his mark. That's why it say, verse 16, like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Ezra said, woe is me. Woe is me. He said, destruction is me. Destruction is me. Who will deliver me in those days? He getting prophecy of where we at now. He want to know who's going to deliver him in these days that we in now. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine, food shortages, and great death. A lot of people dying. Going to be more. The beginning of wars. We in wars right now. World War III already happening. And the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. He said, what shall I do when these evils shall come? So he's looking at himself being in the end times. When these evils shall come. That's why I say this is written for us. Because he didn't hear the Most High when he told him in 2nd Ezra 14 and 9. He told Ezra, for thou shalt be taken away from all. That means you're going to die, Ezra. And from henceforth, from here on, once you die, thou shalt remain with my son. That's what MASHAYACH, who the world calls Jesus Christ in the Old Testament. And with such as be like thee. He's going to be with such as be like Ezra until the times be ended. See, he missed that. That's why I say we have This is written for us. We have the complete volume of the books to be able to look and analyze things of what's being said that he didn't hear it. Else he wouldn't be saying, woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in this day? He going to be with a MASHAYACH. He going to be adult. Like it tells you in this him. He going to be right here. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. That's why I say this written for us. And we looking at somebody else. He says, for the Most High, YAHAWASHI himself, 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Most High, YAHAWASHI himself shall descend from heaven. Like he ascended up in heaven, he's going to descend from heaven. With a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High. And the dead that have died by SHAM MASHAYACH shall rise first. That's Ezra. Remember, he told him he's going to be with a MASHAYACH when the end time comes. And those that be like Ezra. Then we which are alive, some of us are going to be alive, and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. Going to be caught up together with a MASHAYACH and them that's like Ezra, that died in the name of the Lord and Savior, understanding by how SHAM MASHAYACH. Going to be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Most High in the air, and a MASHAYACH in the air, and so shall they ever be with a MASHAYACH in the Most High. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. So it's going to be some of us going to be here, but Ezra, that's where he would be at. Coming with a MASHAYACH. You heard what he said? I mean, he told him, you're going to be with my son when the end time comes. Because he missed it. He missed that. But it's right there. It's right there. If you have ears to hear, let them hear. So, the plagues are here. That's why the Most High said, Revelations for us, Revelation 18:4. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. That ye be not partakers of her sins. That ye be not partakers of her sins. Sin is a transgression of the Most High's laws. Don't be part of breaking the Most High's laws. So if you don't know what's right from wrong, then you are part of her sins. Revelation 18:4. And that ye receive not of her plagues. Hear that? So everybody's not going to receive of the plagues that's on this earth. That's coming on this earth. You say, for her sins, that's a transgression of the Most High's laws, have reached unto heaven. And the Most High have remembered her iniquities. So don't think nobody getting away with anything. The Most High remembered her iniquities. So let's go back to Deuteronomy, 4th chapter. And see if we get some more understanding. Verse 8 again, it says, and what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? So I think we were in Deuteronomy 29th chapter. And the Most High talking to us. He said, now we done seen the Most High open up the Red Sea. We went across on dry ground. From that river, the sea being there all that time. Only the power of the Most High could do that. Have us walk across the Red Sea. And then Pharaoh and his chariots, his armies coming after us, and we look around and be afraid as ever, scared as ever, and they see that we walking across the Red Sea on dry ground, and him and his chariots follow us into the Red Sea, and the Most High close it up on them and drown them. And we seen them going into the shore, dead. And we still murmured in the wilderness. against the Most High. We always choose death. Now, the Great Awakening, with us coming back to the Most High's righteousness, His commandments, is going to bring life. And that life is the opportunity to live forever and ever and ever. That's anybody hear my voice. Got a chance to make it to the kingdom. Going to be a remnant of everybody. Going to have your position in the kingdom of the Most High. And YAHAWASHI. Because first it's going to be YAHAWASHI under the power of the Most High. Getting everybody, putting everybody on his footstool. As David said in Psalms 110:1. The Most High said unto my power. You got to look at this. Because that's two that they put when they publish these Bibles, LORD. But it's really the Most High said unto my power, who is the MASHAYACH, sit thee on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. So the Most High gonna make YAHAWASHI's enemies his footstool. Because somebody put him to death. And y'all don't want to talk about that. But he came in the flesh, but y'all want to say all these things that he's supposed to be doing and just that and the third, whatever. But you don't talk about who put him to death. Wicked Israelites gave him over to the Romans, and the Romans, who are the so-called Italian Caucasians, put him to death. They put him to death. And they say, I'll wipe my hands of this man's blood and scourged him and put him to death. Yeah. So there it is. I mean, there's a price that has to be paid. We pay the price, everybody got to pay a price. We'll pay a price individually, and we're going to pay a price as nations, as he did us and being his chosen people, his chosen nation. The righteous and the wicked went into captivity, slave, and bondage. Understand this, overstand this. And all this could be proven, because it's in the Word. This is what it says. Deuteronomy 29:4. Yet the Most High have not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear until this day. That's why we went to the scriptures that we went to prove that. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness, 40 whole years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxing old upon you. This is the power of the Most High. Can you imagine 40 years? He said our clothes did not wax old upon us. That's why he said his ways and his thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. When you start trying to dig into how this gonna be, that gonna be, and you leave the Most High out, you only have your own mindset, your vain opinion to think about. But he telling you his ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. Where you say it can't happen, it'll happen to everybody else, don't happen to you. Listen, he said, I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxing old upon you, and thy shoe is not waxing old upon thy foot. You hear that? The shoes lasted 40 years. Come on now. Your clothes lasted 40 years. Our clothes lasted 40 years. The shoes did not, the heel did not disintegrate. Are y'all hearing this? He said his ways and thoughts, not our ways and thoughts. That's why I did a song. They've been asking me to do another opening of miracles, you know, things that are happening in our life that's phenomenal. Want me to open that up again. There's a lot of things that proves that the Most High exists. You should have something you should bring to the table that, wow, this happened. Or how you dealing with the Most High. Something, I mean, the little bitty things you can say, oh, the Most High, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Most High. But if you ain't used to doing that, you think everything's happening because you are who you are. Man, you better get the Most High the glory for everything. All praise to the Most High. Say, ye have not eaten bread, neither had you drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am the Most High, your power. But understand. And when ye came unto this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out against us unto battle. and we smote them. I mean, we killed them. When they came out to battle against us, say we killed them. And we took their land and gave it for inheritance unto the Reubenites. Reuben got their land. And to the Gadites got their land. And to the half tribe of Manasseh got their land. Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Understand this. Listen, that's why when we came out of the wilderness, when only 2 adults brought us out, Joshua and Caleb, the Most High told us this in Joshua 1:8. He said, this book of the law, hear that? This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. How you going to do and meditate on all that is written in the laws of the Most High day and night if you don't know them? If you even took the time to go over them or even inquire about them. He said, this book of the law, we just coming out of the wilderness. Most High giving us the laws. We the Israelites. He said, shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. And when you do this, he said, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. You see? So people wonder why they don't have good success, because they're not meditating on the laws of the Most High. And coming out of their mouth is not the laws of the Most High. Coming out of their mouth is not the Most High, period. It's all about their life. Your life, this, that, third, whatever's happening in your worlds. So how is he going to bless you and make your way prosperous when you're not meditating on it, you're not talking about them, you're not even speaking on the laws? So therefore, I figure you should know all of them. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. You know, look at new moons come around and different days that we say we're going to honor. You got to remind people of when it is. People don't even be around. So therefore, they're doing whatever they want to do on his holy day. And especially if you've been in this over a year, 2 years, so forth, and you still not really inquiring about at least when his holy days is. Even the new moons is a law that he made with in the land of Egypt with Joseph. Understand this. Y'all playing the Most High lightly, but you want to see salvation, but you not really looking at this as serious as it really is. That's why he say in your affliction you're gonna seek me early in Hosea 5:15. Better look at that lesson. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 43:26. In the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 43:26. It says, by him the end of them that hath prosperous success. By him the end of them hath prosperous success. And by his word all things consist, man. So you got to understand that everything consists because of the Most High. He's given us orders. These are orders. This is not from Genesis to Deuteronomy. This is throughout the Bible. We're getting commandments. We're getting orders, what we're supposed to do and what's going to work. At least in my mind, I think I want to find out solutions, what works with the Most High and what doesn't work with the Most High. If not, then you're leaning on your own understanding. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power. He done told you that. Going back to Deuteronomy 29. This is what he said. Verse 9, he said, keep therefore the words of this covenant. It's very important. This covenant is very, very important. But who's this covenant with? Because a lot of y'all be saying, talking about the New Testament, and everybody's involved in this covenant. Let's see who this covenant is for. Forever. And how you prove who the covenant was for. You should know this. Psalms 105, and we're going to look at verse 8 to 10. Psalms 105, 8 to 10. He had remembered his covenant, just what we're talking about, this contract agreement with the Most High. He remembered his covenant forever. So a lot of y'all say the covenant been done away with, and everybody else can have the covenant. Any other nation could be in the Most High's covenant. It was a contract or agreement in his laws, statute commandments that he gave covenant. He had remembered his covenant, his contract or agreement forever. So it's not done away with. But whatever you hear here is not done away with. Forever is forever. Eternity. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. Which covenant, whose contract or agreement, whose law, such commandments he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Israel for a law. That means unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. You know, because, you know, I hear these so-called preachers, I say so-called because they wasn't called, but they didn't call themselves into representing a covenant, that they talk about a covenant they done made up themselves. You tell them to come in this Bible and prove this wrong. Let's go to Jeremiah 31:31. Tell them it can mean something different. If it's not just with the 12 tribes of Israel, but they said the covenant with anybody. It don't matter. They always want to use skin color. It ain't about no skin color. It's about the spirit that the Most High put in you, who you are as an Israelite. Who this covenant with? Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days come, said the Most High. That's the future, a future prophecy, that I will make a new covenant, a new contract, a new agreement, some new understandings with the house of Israel. That's the northern tribes, and with the house of Judah. That's the southern tribes, representing all 12 tribes of Israel, if you know what this Bible talk about. It says, not according to the covenant or the agreement, the contract that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. We just read it, Joshua 1:8, we out of the land of Egypt. You know, and in the wilderness, when we read in Deuteronomy 4th chapter, you see, we just came out of Egypt into the wilderness. Not according to the covenant I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break. The law, such commandments of the Most High, we broke as the Israelites, although I was an husband unto them, said the Most High. But this shall be the covenant, the agreement that I will make with the house of Israel, with the family of Israel, who live in the house of family, with the family of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, after those days in the future. He said the Most High, I will put my law in their inward parts. You hear that? He gonna put his laws, so you saying we not under the law, so how you gonna read this and say the covenant's with everybody when he say he gonna put his law, that's the Most High's law, not man's law, but the Most High's laws, the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws, in their inward parts, and write them in their hearts, write them in our minds, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. Listen. Because people ask me, we under the new covenant? Are we under the new covenant? Are you listening to me now? Have you been listening to me? Teach. Let's see what it says. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. So is the new covenant here? Is this something that I'm bringing about that's teaching you? Are you learning from some other man? Is he teaching you? Listen what he say. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. Ain't gonna be no more teaching. We ain't gonna be teaching. and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. Like I keep saying, I mean, y'all gotta understand this. We rehearsing. So that's why I be so fervent about knowing the Most High. Talk about the Most High. Give all praise to the Most High. Because will come a time we'll say, they ain't gonna be saying, know the Most High. For they shall all know me, he said, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, said the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. You see? So, oh, that's the Old Testament. We in the New Covenant. The New Testament is a new covenant. Okay, let's look at Hebrews 8 and 8. Hebrews 8 and 8. Let's see what it says here. In the New Testament, y'all want to like to run to. That's the only thing y'all really deal with, except for tithing. You preachers, y'all want to go to, well, a man robbed God. And you pass the plate. Y'all pass the plate, you get the money. But look what it said in Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, that's the Israelites, he said, behold, the days come, as we just read, said the Most High. So you got to deal with the Most High on this. Because y'all done lied on the Most High's word. When I will make a new covenant with who? With the house of Israel, that's the northern 9 tribes, and with the house of Judah, the 3 tribes of the southern kingdom, which represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Not according to the covenant that I made with their father. We just read in Psalms 105, 8 to 10, he showed his covenant to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, and to 12 tribes of Israel, point blank. Here it is. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, who was in captivity under the Egyptians, the 12 tribes of Israel. He led us out of captivity because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said the Most High. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Most High. Now you see, that's why I keep telling y'all, there is no New Testament. The New Testament that you read here is something that they gathered from reading the law and the prophets and the Apocrypha. Got to include that because that was part of the Old Testament. But this is the covenant. Just remember, we just read in Jeremiah 31 down. Don't it sound familiar? But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Most High. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. We're teaching right now. So we're not under this new covenant that he's talking about. They shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Most High. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Don't it sound familiar? We just read this. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, which is their what? Sins. As it said in Jeremiah. Their iniquity, their wickedness. And their sins, which is transgression of the Most High's law,